Hey everyone, Evan Jones with you here for another episode of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Another great show this week. We will go through the football scoreboard brought to you by MNB Realty and then recap the RPAC Rundown featured matchups we had from last week. Also this week on Thursday is the RPAC Cross Country Invite at Arapahoe, so Kinsey will join us to preview that. Be sure to check out rpacrundown.com and social media for all kinds of great content. Of course, the RPAC Rundown Podcast is brought to you by a bunch of great sponsors like Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Cambridge Supermarket, Webb's Oilfield Service, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Onyx Native, and C+. Also wanted to let you know we have some awesome content that we will be rolling out, sponsored by Cambridge Rehab and Fitness and Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness. We're going to be telling some unique stories across the RPAC, from videos to articles, etc. It's going to be really fun. It's already been really fun. So be on the lookout for all that content as it rolls out. Excited to be partnering with our friends at Cambridge and Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness on this. We'll take a break. Be right back. Let's take a look at the RPAC Rundown Weekly Football Scoreboard. We have wrapped up Week 6. Crazy to think that the regular season is starting to wind down. Of course, our football scoreboard is brought to you by MNB Realty. Alma beat Arapahoe 36-34. Overton took down Bertrand 35-6. Cambridge beat Maywood Hayes Center 30-0. Dundee County Stratton took down North Platte St. Pat's 47-14. Highline beat Southern Valley 42-6. Hitchcock County took down Loomis 28-6. Mullen beat Maxwell 34-32. Southwest beat Medicine Valley 61-14. Hollis took down Paxton 44-25. Hemingford beat Sutherland 69-0. SEM beat Juanita Palisade 63-33. Once again, the weekly football scoreboard is brought to you by MNB Realty. Hey everyone, Evan Jones back with you here. Before we get into the RPAC Rundown featured matchups from last week that we have a really cool piece of content that you may have seen. We are interviewing RPAC students who are involved in the arts. That is brought to you by Acme Printing Company in McCook. Whether they're in music, play, art, etc., we're going to chat with them and see what's going on the art side of education. We're rotating the schools, obviously, going through the entire conference to see what's going on in the arts programs across the conference, what students are involved in. It's been a lot of fun the first couple of weeks. We're looking forward to continuing to do that. Really excited to partner with Acme Printing Company on that. One interview per week is what we are doing, posted across social media. Have you checked out Acme Printing Company's website? If you haven't, please visit acmeprint.co. You can order online. They do so many cool things like marketing products, stationery, direct mailing, signage, promotional products, storefront, vehicle graphics, and more. We personally use Acme Printing Company. They print our magazine. They've hooked us up with awesome pins, and they came by and did our signage at the office. Great local business and people to work with. So be on the lookout for those interviews on social media, and be sure to check out Acme Printing Company for your printing needs. Last week on Thursday, Highline hosted Wallace for a duel on the volleyball court in Eustis. Of course, as we said, that was on Thursday night. The Bulls had to hold off a late surge from the Wildcats as it took all 5 sets. It was great volleyball. We found a winner, though. It was Highline who won 3-2 over Wallace. We have a full blog recap on the website, rpacrundown.com, where we go more in depth on what happened in the match. That's how we do it, with all of the RPAC Rundown featured matchup articles and coverage. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by Finley Construction, Lord's Hardware, Furniture, and Appliances, and Dayspring Bank. We'll take a break. Be right back. It was senior night on Friday as Southern Valley hosted Highline for a D19 district matchup on the football field. The Eagles were seeking their first win of the season, while Highline, they were fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive. Highline was able to come away with the victory 42-6. Of course, we have a full recap article on rpacrundown.com, and you can check that out there. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Avanti Salon and Boutique, Smack and Smooch Custom Printing, Stalder Repair, Elevate Wellness, providing physical therapy and a large range of holistic health services to the entire Southwest Nebraska region, Dakey Law Office, Lord's Hardware, Furniture, and Appliances, Dundee County Hospital and Quality Healthcare, Cornfed Entertainment, Levi Watson, and Zach Kerner. Let's take a break, and then we will preview RPAC Cross Country. This week is the RPAC Cross Country Invite. Mackenzie Jones will join us to do that. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Now joining us on the RPAC Rundown Podcast is Mackenzie. This week is RPAC Cross Country Week in Arapahoe on Thursday, right? 4 p.m. Central Time start. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So very excited about that. A lot of great runners in the conference once again this year. Let's talk about the course itself first. It's a fairly difficult course to run. Just tell us more about it, Kinsey.
Yeah, it is a challenging course. I only ran on it a couple times in high school for conference and district events and stuff like that. So I'm not super familiar with it, but we've gone to the Arapahoe Invite the last couple years as well, but it's hilly. It's winding, lots of up and down curves. You kind of go up the hill, then you'll go down the hill, turn around and go up the hill. And so it's very difficult and hilly. They do a really good job constructing it and using the hills that they have there. There's some flat spots where you can definitely capitalize, make your move, capitalize going up the hills if hills are your strong suit. So it is a challenging course. It's brutal when it's hot because you're kind of in a valley, and so not much wind is whipping in and out of there. But looking ahead at the weather, I don't think it's going to be too hot this week. It should be a fairly cool week, so they won't have to worry about that part of the course.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you want, though, for a conference meet, is a tough course.
Yes.
That's kind of what you want, is for it to be an element, essentially. You want it to be that way. So, all right, let's talk about girls' teams first. Mm-hmm. Who are some teams to watch for that could compete for that team title and such?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's so many good individuals, but there's a really good teams, and they're really close together, too. The nice thing about the conference is that they see each other throughout the year, so you can kind of pick and okay, maybe this team has an edge, well, then this team has an edge. So Maywood Hayes Center has a really solid group coming in. Cambridge is young as well and has a good group. Maxwell is small, but they run together. I think they have 3 or 4 on their roster, and so just enough to fill a team slot, but they run really compact, which gives them an edge that way. And then Highline as well has been running really well. Again, another smaller team, but runs really compact as well.
Yeah, and we have every team in the conference participating since Juanita Palisade has a team now, which is really exciting to have all 16 squads having squads, which is really exciting. So, all right, so you mentioned teams that could do well on the girls' side. Let's talk about individuals for the girls' side. Who are maybe some runners to watch for on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, it's why you run the race, but just kind of looking at the times that have been run so far this season, it could be a battle between 3 freshmen for that gold spot, which will be really fun. They've run neck and neck all season at these meets. So Carly Softly from Maywood Hayes Center, Lydia McGowan from Cambridge, and Aisha Neal from Alma have all kind of traded spots here and there all season. And so those 3 for sure are going to be battling for one of those top spots. But then you have Annalie Ramirez from Juanita Palisade, totally new to the sport. They haven't had a program, and she's run really well this season for not having any experience with it. But Lachelle Benitez from Maxwell, Eliana Robertson from Wallace, Isla Gosnell from Maxwell, Natalie Jorgensen from Paxton. I mean, we could just keep going and going. But it's going to be a really fun race and see the strategies play out. Yeah,
should be interesting on the girls' side. Boys' side will be just as interesting, it appears. I mean, there's those few favorites, obviously. But let's talk teams first. Who are some of the boys' teams that could maybe vie for that RPAC title?
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun to see this one shake out because it's going to be even tighter than I think the girls' side of it. Wallace has been running phenomenal as of late. They run extremely close together as well, but then I say that, and Alma's the exact same way. They have a huge group of boys, so they kind of change out those varsity spots from time to time, as there's only 5 varsity spots, but they run together. It's bing, 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 it seems like, especially when you type up the results. They're like 3, 4, 5, 6, just boom, together. And so that'll be fun to watch. But Paxton also is running well, and so it'll be fun to watch that all come together and see how that all shakes out.
Now, individuals, obviously Cale Garrett has had a great season. There's many others that have had great seasons, but who are some individuals to maybe watch for that could take home medals?
Yeah, Cale Garrett for sure. He is running really well all season.
Of Medicine Valley. I failed to mention that, but Cale Garrett of Medicine Valley. Yeah, go ahead, continue, Kins.
He's run really well all season. He did really well at UNK this past week, and so it'll be fun to kind of watch him and what his strategy is kind of coming into this postseason and using this to help prepare him later. But then Max Hansen ran a phenomenal race at UNK. He set a new PR of 18:10. And so he's knocking time off. And at a UNK course like that, that's tough. Very hilly, challenging course. So he's running well as well. And then you've got Nolan File of Alma, Landon Drews of Paxton, Vaughn Fennell of Alma, Tristan Maneri of Wallace, Bryson Shriver of Alma, Connor Edwards of Highline, and Braden Sanford of Cambridge as well has been running really well. So it'll be really fun.
Yeah, should be really exciting on Thursday. We will be there. Well, you will be there.
Yes, I will be there.
I'll be covering some football, Medicine Valley, Wallace, but you'll be there providing some coverage, doing things with that. Of course, if you're a business, you want to sponsor, get a hold of us. We have some great advertising opportunities for that. But yeah, should be a really fun Thursday for that.
Yes.
Anything else that's noteworthy coming into this RPAC Cross Country Invite, or did you pretty much cover it all, you think, Kins?
I mean,
we can keep going.
We could talk to you guys for a really long time, but I think that's honestly everything kind of in a nutshell, and it's going to be good. It's going to be some good competition. It'll be fun to see everybody all together, and it'll be a good day.
Yeah.
Good weather, too, so we can't complain about that.
Yep. For now, it looks like good weather.
We are in Nebraska.
At the time of recording
it could
this.
change,
yeah.
So don't come after us if the weather takes a turn for the worst. When we are recording this, it looks like it's going to be a good day to run.
Yeah. We're really excited about it. Should be a lot of fun once again. So, well, thanks for the time, Kins.
Yep.
That will do it for this week's episode of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Be on the lookout for Athletes of the Week brought to you by First Central Bank. Always highly anticipated. We typically drop those on Thursday. Glad to have First Central Bank as our partner on those each week. We continue to have great content rolling out. Of course, all of our free stuff, game recaps, weekly blogs and such on rpacrundown.com, and then also RPAC Rundown Overtime. If you haven't subscribed to that, I encourage you to do so. We have some exclusive articles there for $3 per month plus tax or $30 per year plus tax. So some exclusive content there on RPAC Rundown Overtime. You can find that on the website too. We need to thank our great sponsors of the podcast like JBK Operating LLC, Scouts Recreation, First Central Bank, Cross Diamond Cattle Company, Tri-Valley Medical Foundation, and Prairie Girl Candle Company. Thanks a bunch for tuning in. We will catch you later.